sis, the worst thing you can do is leave your house with a half blended face. Trust me, I've done it before. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over some of the best makeup tips that you can apply to ensure that your makeup is fully blended and flawless. I'm gonna show you how to get your makeup from this to this in no time, and you'll definitely be considered advanced after this video. So if you're interested, just continue to watch. Alright, so the first thing you want to make sure you do before any blending, you want to make sure that you are moisturizing your skin. So I've already washed my face. That is just something I've already done to prepare myself for today's video. So I am going to be going in with some moisturizer, and I did go in with my Merit Beauty Great Skin Priming Moisturizer. So this product is actually supposed to act as a 2-in-1. It's supposed to be a moisturizer as well as a primer. So I always recommend 2-in-1s for my beginners, so you can kind of cut down your makeup process as well. So I'm going to be going in with this to honestly moisturize and prime my skin. All right, so the first thing when it comes to the makeup process that you'll run into when it comes to blending is blending out your foundation. Foundation is literally the base. It's what sets the tone for the rest of your makeup. So you want to make sure that you are properly blending out your foundation. Now there's many different techniques and tools and things like that you can use. So I'm going to show you just a few of the different ways that you can blend out your foundation, just to make it easier on you, the beginner. So first you want to understand what kind of look you're going for. Are you going for full coverage? Are you going for light? What exactly is the look that you're going for? So hypothetically, we're gonna just assume we're going for a full coverage look today. So I'm gonna be going in with my Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, my favorite foundation at the moment. This is in the shade 480 Medium Deep Neutral. And what I would advise is to put the foundation on the back of your hand. So right here, this is literally your blending palette. Like, this is what's going to help you put the product on instead of putting it directly onto your face. This is where a lot of people go wrong and end up using too much product or just having trouble blending out their foundation. You don't want to go directly on the face with your product. And trust me, I used to do this in the past. I used to just kind of like apply it from the pump to my face. You definitely don't want to do that. So what you want to do is start with one pump on the back of your hand. If you're going for a lightweight foundation look, I would recommend using the dot method. So you're literally just applying it in dots on your face. This will allow you to visually see how much foundation you're putting on your skin. If you're going for a bit more full coverage, I like to go in with my blending brush. So this is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. This is used for blending out foundation. And you can see it's a very large brush because we're working on a really large surface on our face. So I like to actually dip into the foundation I've applied on my hand, and I like to warm it up on the back of my hand just like that. And you can see I've applied some of that product. And what you want to do is work in sections, like I said, and you want to dab that foundation into your skin. You want to avoid swiping. Swiping is like a no-no when it comes to your foundation. That is going to leave streaks on your face. You're just not going to like the finish look of your foundation. So you want to use dabbing motions, stippling motions is what I call it, and that is just going to help you really give you a nice even canvas. All right, so just like that, you guys see how I was able to blend that out and really give me a nice even canvas. So I'm gonna go in with another pump, and on this side, I'm gonna show you the dot method. So all you're doing is applying that foundation in dots on your face. And then you wanna take your brush and start blending it out. Again, you're still using the dabbing motion. And with blending out your foundation, you don't need to blend over your eyes or underneath your eyes. This area here is reserved for your concealer, which I'm gonna show you guys in a bit how to blend and all that stuff. Putting foundation here will also allow like under your eyes to crease up more. So you wanna aim for less product underneath your eyes. So with foundation, you just wanna focus it literally in this area and your forehead. And that's really what's going to give you your foundation. So if you're a beauty blender user, you want to avoid putting the foundation directly onto the sponge. That is a no-no. You want to make sure that you're doing the same technique that I did with the brush. So either applying it on the back of your hand or going in with dots first and then using your beauty sponge to blend out. And with your beauty sponge, you want to make sure that it is damp. You don't want it to be super wet and you don't want it to be dry. I think the worst out of the two is dry. If you're using a dry beauty blender, sis, you need to stop, because that is what is preventing you from having a really flawless makeup look. So you want to make sure that you have your damp beauty sponge. And if you're someone who has problem areas on your skin, you can focus more of that foundation in that area alone. You don't need to put a whole extra layer on your face. You can literally just kind of figure out the area on your face that you need that extra coverage and then go in with a second layer. All right, so this is literally my foundation, my base. This is how it should be looking, really even. Your skin should look one even skin tone. This is the goal when it comes to blending out your foundation. All right, so the next step in terms of blending that you will run into when doing your makeup is your concealer, blending out your concealer. So again, hypothetically, we're going for a full face today. So we're gonna do the whole highlight and contour process. So when it comes to your concealer, again, you wanna work in sections. Working in sections is probably going to be the key word of this whole video, because this is what's going to really allow you to take your time with blending. The worst thing you can do is just have a whole bunch of lines on your face and then parts are dried up and it's just a hot mess. So when I say work in sections, I'm really giving you guys a tip with that one. So when it comes to concealer, I would suggest working on your under eyes first. So your under eyes is pretty much what's going to give you the bright under eye look, and this acts as your highlight. So today I'm going to be going in with the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. This one is in the shade 146. So we're going to use this today, and what you also want to have is a concealer blending brush or your damp beauty sponge. So on one side I'll show you the brush, and on the other side I'll show you with the beauty sponge. So what you want to do is apply that concealer in your inner corner, and you want to bring it up on a little bit on the nose as well. And then I like to just apply a line going in a diagonal up towards my temple, and that's literally what we do for our highlight. So what you want to do is take your concealer brush, and your concealer brush is literally like a mini foundation brush, to be honest. It's dense so that you're able to blend out your concealer. So once you have applied that concealer, you want to work on blending out the outer portion. You don't want to be blending in the middle first. Start with the outer portion and blend it out. You want to blend out the outer area here as well. And once you do that, then you can work your way in the middle. And what that ensures is that you kind of have control on how the look is coming out as well. You want down here to look seamless, like it's blending into your skin. So always start with blending out the edges and then work your way in. And again, you're using stippling motions, aka dabbing motions, to blend out your concealer. And then again, like I said, you want to bring the concealer a little bit up onto your nose. This is going to act as your nose contour. And then with your damp beauty sponge, you want to use the tip. You don't want to use this part, or you don't want to use the sides. You want to use the tip of your beauty blender, and again, blend out the edges. So we're going to work on the edges first, blend that out, and then the edges of the side here as well. And once we have that blended out, then we could start moving up in the inner corner and just kind of connecting everything. If you're someone who wants a quicker result, using the beauty sponge will definitely give you a quicker blend. So just like that, we blended out the under eyes, and you could see it gave me the same result with the same techniques. Honestly, super easy. So I'm just going to continue with the rest of my face, my forehead, nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. With your nose contour, I would suggest using a brush just because it will give you a precise blend right down the center where you need it. If you are going to be using your beauty sponge, I would recommend pinching the beauty sponge so that it's a little bit more slimmer, so that you can blend down your nose as well. This is just going to keep that concealer right there rather than letting it spread out on your nose. Okay, so we have our concealer on. Everything looks pretty blended for the most part. What you want to do is go back in with the brush or your beauty sponge that you use for your foundation. These will usually have like the residue on it. For today's video, I did use a brush, so I'm going to go back in with my brush and just blend out all the edges. This is going to give a really seamless look, and just make sure that everything is blended together and working together. That is what you want. You want everything to look like they're working together. So next is your cream contour. So when it comes to your cream contour, as a beginner, I would recommend a contour stick. That is hands down what I would recommend. If you want something easy that's easy to apply, a contour stick will allow you to really see how much product you're putting on your skin and give you that control as the beginner. So the product today that I'm going to use for my cream contour is the Fenty matchsticks. You guys are probably gonna get sick of seeing this, but I swear by this. Fenty needs to sponsor me at this point. This is the Fenty matchstick in the shade Espresso. And when I tell you, if you are around my skin tone in any way, this is like the perfect shade. It gives me like a really subtle contour. I'm going to be using this to contour all of my areas that I need to contour. So that is the cheekbones, the forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and my jawline. So with a contour stick, you want to apply it to the top of your ears going down diagonally. That's usually where your jawline is. And you just want to apply a little line. Like, that's all you need. Trust me, you do not need to go in like that and apply so much product. Literally one line does the trick. So all you want to do is just draw that line. And when it comes to your contour, honestly, you can do the lines on your face. Contour for me is not an issue to blend out. So you want to put it on your forehead, your cheekbones, your jawline, and then you want to apply it on the sides of your nose. This is going to act as your nose contour. So literally we've mapped out where we're going to be contouring. So with your cream contour, you can use your damp beauty sponge, which is honestly my #1 recommendation for beginners, or you can use a angled dense brush like this one here. This one is the House Labs blending brush, I believe that's the name. I'll leave it on the screen here. But this is angled, and anything angled I would recommend for blending out your cream contour. For the sake of today, I am going to recommend using this just because this is a little easier for beginners to use. And what you want to do is use the sides of your beauty blender. So the tip here is for your concealer, the bottom edge here is for your foundation, and the sides is for your contour. So what you want to do is use the side. You can pinch it a little bit as well, and what you want to do is start dabbing. But while you're dabbing, you're kind of blending in an upward motion. This is going to give you your contour. So again, we're just going to kind of pinch it and start blending upwards. And then when it comes to your forehead, you want to blend the product going this way, so into your temples. And at the same time, I'm still pinching it so that I'm really blending out that product. And this is real time, guys. You're seeing how easy that contour is to blend out, which is why I didn't work in sections with this product. I know the Fenty product, so I know that if I put it on my skin, it will blend out regardless of how long I'm taking. So with your jawline, you want to make sure that you're just keeping that product in your jawline. You don't want to bring it down on your neck, and you don't want to bring it up to your face. One thing you do want to avoid is using a fluffy blending brush to blend out your contour. This is going to cause a whole mud bath on your face. It's going to be a mess. Avoid fluffy brushes to blend out. Like I said, you're going to need something dense and angled like this. And when it comes to your nose contour, you can still continue to use your beauty sponge, or you can use an angled brush like this. So it's small and angled. I usually tend to go with this. So all I'm doing is blending out that product just down the bridge of my nose here. And that's just going to give me my nose contour just like that. Or you can go in with your sponge. And again, you want to pinch the side and then dab. This is going to blend out the sides as well. Like I said, using your beauty sponge will save you a lot more time in my opinion. But yeah, you can use whatever product you're feeling for today. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the concealer and just shape my brows. So for my brows, I'm using a flat brush to really just trace out my brows. And then I go in with the concealer brush to blend it out. And then I'm just gonna apply some on my eyelids as well. Okay, so we got the majority of our products down. Now this step is optional. This is super optional. This is for anyone who likes to apply liquid blush. Liquid blush has been super in right now. Like, a lot of people are actually using liquid blush. I will show you how to blend that out. So today I'm going to be using the Revlon Super Dewy Liquid Blush. This is in the shade You Had Me at First Blush. Okay, so when it comes to your blush, #1 thing is you want to work in sections. You want to work with a small amount. You want to work with less. Less is always more. That is literally probably my mantra for this whole channel. Like, less is more. You don't need to be using so much product to achieve a really nice makeup look. Like, little goes a long way. So when it comes to your blush, I would recommend, if it is a liquid blush, applying it to the back of your hand. So like I said, this is like your little palette, your mixing palette. And what I like to do is just apply some to the back of my hand. So when it comes to my blush, I usually go in with this brush. This is considered a tapered blending brush. So tapered means it's pointed towards the tip, and that is what you want when you're blending out any cream or liquid blush. So the tapered part is what's going to keep that liquid blush in the area that you want. You want to avoid using very fluffy brushes to blend out your blush. This is going to just cause all of your blush to go all over. So When it comes to the blush, I recommend going in with the product on the back of your hand and just dipping into that blush and really warming it up on the back of your hands, just like this. And so you have a decent amount of the product on the brush. Then you want to find your cheekbone, so the tip of your cheeks right here, and just start dabbing that pigment in. And if I do find I put too much, I just kind of take off the excess on my hand just like that, and then continue blending that out. And with your blush, you want to go up towards your temples. So at first, when you apply your liquid blush, it is going to look crazy. So that is something that honestly you will have to deal with. Like, it's going to look crazy. The goal is taking your time and blending it out and diffusing that harshness on your cheekbones. So after you kind of blend out most of the blush, one trick that I do is just applying a bit of that concealer on the edges of the blush and where my concealer is, just like that, and then going back in with my blending brush and kind of muting that harsh line that you see. Just like that, I kind of gave it a really nice seamless blend. And then you could just go back in and just make sure that everything is blended. Honestly, blush is something that you definitely need to get used to. Blush can be really intimidating, especially if you are a beginner, but always start with a little, guys. The little will go a long way. So these are pretty much the main steps in terms of blending out your makeup. So at this point, you're ready to powder up your face and just make sure that everything is set. Something I would advise is just going over everything and just kind of making sure all the harsh lines are all blended and everything just looks seamless, because once you put the powder on, that's it. Everything is staying put. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to powder and just make sure that everything is set. So I'm going to be going in with my Black Radiance True Complexion Loose Setting Powder in the shade Honeymoon. I'm going to be using my triangular puff to just apply it into my highlighted areas. So I like to dip into that powder and just apply some on my powder puff, and then I go in on the back of my hand wherever I have space at this point and just take off the excess. And then I like to go in with setting my under eye. And you want to bring the powder up on your nose as well, because that is actually a part of your concealer area. And if you need to, you can always go in with another layer if you want that extra coverage in terms of your powder. And you want to dab that powder into your skin. You don't want to swipe it on your face. I literally use this powder on like everything. Do you guys see what that... This powder is magic. I'm gonna leave this powder in my description box, so you guys need to get it. You guys need to get it. This is a game changer. When I tell you flashback is like non-existent with this powder. So just like that, we powdered up literally the center of our face where we did the highlighting. For your contours, you want to go in with either a bronzer or a contour powder. So for today, I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. This is in the shade 500 Dark. And then for powder blush, I'm going to be using my Rimmel Maxi Blush. This is in the shade Wildcard. Then with my sponge, I like to just go back in and mute everything down so that it's not looking too harsh. I actually forgot to use my powder on my nose contour. And then again, you would just want to go in over that contour. So that is about it for blending. I hope I was really detailed. I'm going to quickly just finish up the rest of my makeup so that we can just close out this video. All right, sis, so this is the finishing look. So when it comes to blending, this is how your finishing look should be after you've powdered and just finish up the little intricate parts of your makeup. So this is considered a full face of makeup. So I hope today's video was really informative. I hope you learned something from today's video. I did just recently upload a fall makeup tutorial. So this is a fall beginner step-by-step makeup tutorial on how to achieve a really wearable fall makeup look. So if you haven't checked that out just yet, I'll leave it on the screen right here for you to check out. And if you are a new sis to my channel, sis, make sure you are subscribed. You don't want to miss my uploads. Also hit the bell so that you guys are notified each time I upload. I do upload every Sunday at 1 p.m. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.